رب العالمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين.
I was born in Australia, in the outback, and I came here when I was 1. And I grew up in a Māori community on the east coast of the North Island. And then I came down here to study. We went to church. I'm in a different country, but I was so nervous I almost fainted because I stopped breathing. I didn't want to make any sound. Everything was so silent between bowing, between the prayers, and yeah, that was a culture shock, actually. Very nervous. So I left feeling not too good, and I think I wanted to come back, but it took me a few months before I got the courage to come back, and I didn't want to go by myself, so I had to find another Muslim to go with. I kept coming to Friday prayers, and every time something wrong happened, either I wore my shoes into a room I wasn't meant to, or I wasn't wearing the right clothes. But yeah, I just was interested, and I liked the prayer, and then I went to the open day, and one of my friends was showing me around, and I took my first Quran. I think I took the Quran, or I just took pamphlets, and she said, she was showing me a post on how to pray, and she said, you have a lot to catch up on. And I went, no, I'm not going to be a Muslim, don't think I'm going to do that. Yes, but I think it was only a few months later that I became a Muslim. You know, in the Quran it says, he will guide who he wills. Well, I don't think I had any choice. I think I was Muslim a long time before I noticed I was, because I read a lot of books, and when I visited the mosque I used to go into the library, and I found this one called Jesus and Muhammad, and I read little things in there. I also believed that Muhammad was a messenger of God. I saw him as the same as Jesus. So I was having this internal conflict for a long time. And I took it to my friend. He was a Muslim. And I told him, look, I believe that, Muhammad was... I told him what I believed, basically. And he said, well, you basically are a Muslim. And I thought, oh, no. What am I then? I've got to choose one. Either stay a Christian or become a Muslim. And so I thought, well, to know what I really am, I think I have to go find out more about Islam again. So I think I started coming back to Friday prayers, and the more books I read, the more I sort of got this, I kind of could see myself being a Muslim. And, oh gosh, I don't really know what the final push was. I think it's when someone offered to do my Shahada. Because a lot of people asked me, are you a Muslim? And because I had so many Muslim friends, I said, no, I'm not, but, and I always stopped at but, because I thought that I was on the inside. Also, I think it was just a lot of things, lots of different experiences that just pulled me towards one place. For example, I liked Arabic, and I think the first words I learnt was La ilaha illallah, and I said, what's that again? I liked the sound of it. I could only hear la, la, la. I tried to copy him, and he said La ilaha illallah, and he wrote it down. I used to sit there, just whole pages full, trying to write it in Arabic again and again and again and again. I'll show it to everyone saying, look what I can do. I didn't know what those words meant, obviously, but I said it over and over and over again. Maybe that's one thing, saying almost the Shahada, half of it, without knowing it. luckily my mother came on Eid, and there was a barbecue in the Woodhall Gardens, and she basically found out within hours of arriving on the plane, and I guess she was just shocked, you know, because I showed her, I said, "Oh, Mum, look at these," and I pulled open my drawer where I used to hide all my prayer mats and things from my flatmate, and I pulled out, you know, prayer beads, all the white prayer clothes, and this beautiful carpet prayer mat that had been given to me. And she said, "Well, are you changing?" She wasn't happy, but luckily when she went and met all my Muslim friends down at the gardens, she noticed that they're all doing PhDs or just the academics, and she really was sort of happy with that, I guess. She said, "Oh, well, looks like they're looking after you and you're happy," so yeah. But my friends, especially one friend in particular, wasn't happy when I told her I'm a Muslim now. I said I'm going to put on the hijab soon. And she said, "Oh, but Melissa, your hair's so beautiful." And I said, "Well, that's why I have to wear it, you know." And I wanted to, and I used to do it backwards. I'd go into my room and lock the door, because I didn't want her walking in my flatmate, and I'd put on my hijab and sit at my desk with my hijab on, but when I go outside I'd take it off. It was backwards. I so wanted to wear it. I used to have to lock the door to pray, and I felt really bad. And I did Ramadan also behind my flatmate's back also. She had no idea. I told her I went out every night for iftar. Well, I said I'm going for a study group, which wasn't a lie really. I took my books with me and I studied here in the mosque. She said, "Oh, free food." She wanted to come. She said, "Are you doing any of the same subjects as me?" And I said, "Well, I don't think you'd like these sorts of people, you know, it's kind of invitation only." But I used to bring her food back. She didn't know where it came from. There's heaps left. She said, how come they, you know, have so much left over every night? Man, she was just so quizzed about it. I think she saw my hijab sticking out of my bag once. She looked at it and kind of looked at me and looked at it and looked at me, and it didn't click, thankfully. I think I did a pretty good job hiding it. I think I appreciate things a lot more. Food and drink, for example, people, friends, family life, and I've sort of forgotten the life I used to live, but I wasn't ever a really bad girl. I didn't drink very often, although I do remember thinking, well, this is bad of me. But I thought, well, when I was contemplating being a Muslim, I said, well, when I'm a Muslim I can't drink, I know this, so I think I took the opportunity to go to the pub and have a wine and contemplated over a bit of Scotch flavoured, I don't know. I never again, I walked out of that pub dizzy and really feeling not very well, and I thought, I'm definitely making the right choice becoming a Muslim. I think my standard of living is a lot higher. I think being cleaner, I've been sick less, and really happy. People have noticed that I'm happier, a lot happier, and just sort of, they say there's something about me that, and they're wondering where it's come from, but I seem very at peace. And I say, well, I am. I can't think of anything really to complain about, be worried about. And they just think, wow, you know, you must have a perfect life. But it's not. But I mean, it's just the different view on life. And also, Allah plays a big role, especially when some people, especially the student Christian group on campus, goes around the link, hunts down people, and they want you to fill out this questionnaire. And I did really well, better than them. They were really surprised with my answer. They said, "What do you put first in life?" And I said, well, it was easy. I didn't really want to say it because I thought they would think I was strange, but I said, of course, God comes first, always. And they were just, wow, they said, "You're the first one to say that." And I ended up giving them a 2-hour lecture. I didn't end up filling out their thing. You know, I make sure I say thank you, and I try and be very polite with people and very patient, and yeah, I try and look happy too, because people think that, oh, that poor Muslim girl, you know, she has to wear that thing over her head and all those clothes, and it's hot. And so if they see me smiling, sometimes they look confused why I'm so happy, and they're walking past and they're thinking, why should she be happy? You know, look at her, look at the life she lives, it's so deprived. Well, I don't know what they're thinking. But I kind of get the feeling that they do look a lot, people do look. So I just try and make sure I'm doing my best at all times, because they are studying me. I know they are. Especially when they hear me talk, 'cause they know I'm not an Arab, or they know I'm a Kiwi. And actually when people hear me speak, they kind of look at me like, oh, you know, what's her story? That's why I kept my name Melissa. I initially was going to change it to Miriam. For a while it was. But I kept it as Melissa for dawah reasons, on the advice of a friend in America. Also, I didn't wear the hijab for a long time, but I decided that when my flatmate, you know, had left, the first day that I spent in Dunedin, I'd put it on, and in the Napier airport, I went to the bathroom and I put it on. I came out with it. I haven't taken it off since, although sometimes I felt like I did feel really self-conscious. I thought everyone was looking at me, and they were, but now I'm sort of immune to it. But back then, one look would just make me feel so small. But, you know, and I thought, well, I don't really know what they're making a big fuss about. If I don't make a big fuss about it, they won't. So coming from majority Māori community, I can see lots of things Islam could do, especially because when my mother went back and told me lots of girls were drinking at this party, had big bellies, they were pregnant, quite heavily pregnant, and she said there were more than one of them drinking. And that's one thing, giving some morals. That's really important. I think we used to have morals in the more conservative days. Girls wore long dresses, but also that, I suppose that was associated with being oppressed, because women really, they were second-class citizens, so maybe covering up to them seems like going back to the old ways. But it's not, you know, and I think, again, our politics would change, and our social interactions would change a lot too, and shutting down some of these pubs are just, you know, it's the alcohol. I see it, and I lived with it all my life, and it never did any good for anyone, and so some morals especially, and for the poor people as well, the zakat, and also give people things to live for, because we have one of the highest suicide rates in the world in young people, and it's because they don't actually think they have anything to live for. It is peaceful, and it's sort of a good place to practice, because, like you said, there isn't anything to stop us, and people are generally really supportive. Like, they smile when I walk past, and you can tell they just admire what we're doing. They don't. Some people are smart out there, and they know they don't stereotype us to what's heard in the news. So those people, they know, and I don't get any trouble. Yeah, that's quite easy. Yes.
رب العالمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين